Communications Incorporated. Good morning and welcome to King's Newsroom, 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is Thursday, August 28th, 2025, and I'm Newton Topa presenting. Stories we following this morning. United States government suspends birth tourism, a primary purpose of pregnant women delivering their babies on the soil of the U.S. Liberian National Union 2023 Vice Presidential Kennedy Grace Palm described CDC demolished national headquarters as one of the largest drug-affected areas. Palm said CDC officials turned blind eyes to rampant drug abuse in the premises of the party headquarters. Presidential liaison to the national legislature, Sandra Johnson says the party has gone astray from its original values and worsened Liberians' living conditions. Away from home, Nigeria has announced 6-month ban on the export of raw seed nuts used to make many beauty creams. A court in Equatorial Guinea has handed an 8-year jail term for embezzlement to the senior official for that's who separately won notoriety for appearing in a series of sex tapes with other officials' wives. These plus the news bulletin, our international development, our package. But I'll take a very short break. I'll be right back. Welcome back, and let's now have the news bulletin. The United States government has introduced a new policy aimed at denying visas to pregnant women who intend to travel to the U.S. under the intent of giving birth to ensure their children automatically gains American citizenship. According to a statement issued Wednesday by the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia, the policy targets what is commonly referred to as the birth tourism, a practice in which foreign nationals travel to the United States for primary purpose of delivering their babies on the U.S. soil. The embassy noted that over the years, a growing number of pregnant women have been found engaging in this practice. It emphasized that the new visa restrictions are part of efforts to uphold the integrity of the immigration system. The statement added that the updated policy has instructed circular officers to scrutinize visa applicants more closely, noting that if they determine an applicant's primary purpose for traveling is to give birth in the United States, the applicant's visa should be denied. The embassy further urged all visa applicants to be honest and transparent in their application process to avoid being denied. Broom County former senator and presidential liaison to the national legislature, Sandra Johnson, has sharply criticized officials of the ruling Unity Party, describing them as ungrateful. Sandra claimed President Joseph Walker is the only leader who is in the current Unity Party alliance government who shows genuine concern for people. The Broom County senator, in an interview on Wednesday, argued that the Unity Party has gone astray from its original values and is no longer the political institution Liberians once knew. He noted that if anyone in the ruling party will ever conduct themselves like the president, that means the party will have stand a stronger chance of winning the 2029 elections. The presidential liaison to the national legislature also accused officials of the United Party government of using poor Liberians to gain power and later neglect them once they are in office. According to him, most of the UP government officials are acting as though they were never supported by ordinary people, as they are now concentrating on their benefit rather than the benefit of the country and its people. Former Montserrat County Superintendent and Vice Presidential candidate of the opposition Liberian National Union, Grace Kwan, has described the former headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change as a ghetto center. Speaking in an interview with Fortune TV Wednesday, Grace Kwan said the former ruling party headquarters was one of the largest drug-infected areas in the country. She accused party officials of turning blind eyes to worsening poverty and rampant drug abuse in surrounding neighborhoods around the party headquarters, while continuing to refer to them as the masses and the ordinary citizens. The former Leonard Vice Presidential candidate said the eviction of the CDC from its former headquarters was inconsistent with the law and overdue despite being described by human rights advocates as inhumane. Meanwhile, the former Montserrat County superintendent also described Montserrat County Senator Sir Joseph as political irrelevant. According to Matakpan, the Montserrat County senator got elected because of former President George Weah, adding that the breakaway from the CDC and funding new political party is insignificant. She claimed that she has documents that support her allegations of corruption against the senator, though she provided no immediate evidence. The family of the late Lovetta Tama has rejected recommendations from the Liberian Medical and Dental Council to settle her death amicably with the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center and filed a $25 million lawsuit against the country's largest referral hospital for alleged medical malpractice. According to family sources, Lovetta Tamba, who was 26 weeks pregnant, died along with her unborn child at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center due to alleged medical negligence and misconduct by the hospital staff. A communication obtained in possession of the station reveals that the Liberian Medical and Dental Council has issued several recommendations urging both the hospital and the Tama family to resolve the matter amicably and avoid legal proceedings. However, court documents filed by the plaintiffs, represented by Councillor Sima Serenio Sifos and Afadasa Consultancy, allege that the death occurred as a result of gross negligence and misconduct on the part of GFK's management and Dr. Gonkado Na. In the lawsuit, the family is demanding $7 million in special damages and $10 million in general damages from the hospital, and also seeking $3 million in special damages and $25 million in general damages from Dr. Na. The family claimed the tragic death of Lovetta Tamba has caused significant psychosocial, emotional, and financial hardship, particularly affecting her surviving 4-year-old daughter. Chief Justice Yemin Bese has ordered a mandatory credential audit and personnel verification of all judges, magistrates, and employees across the judiciary. A directive issued just days after his formal induction on August 15 is being framed as a necessary step toward transparency and institutional credibility. The civil service agency acting on the directive of Chief Justice Bese is poised to begin this week-long credential audit and personnel verification across courts in Montserrat County beginning Thursday, August 28th. Judges and staff across the 1st and 6th Judicial Circuit Court will be required to produce original academic credentials and national identification cards or face unspecified severe administrative consequences. Chief Justice Base's action aimed at settling the tone for a tenure focus on restoring public confidence in the judiciary. In his induction remarks, Chief Justice Yemin Bese vowed to conduct credential audits to ensure that all staff of the judiciary have the required academic qualification and experience. The audit, which is expected to run until Thursday, September 4th, 2025, will cover judges, magistrates, judiciary staff in both the 1st and 6th judicial circuits, with a focus on confirming the academic credentials of qualifications of all employees and thus honor the judiciary branch. To carry out the audit, the CSA has deployed 3 specialized teams across 3 main venues in Montserrat County. Team A is expected to station at the Temple of Justice and would audit the judges, magistrates, and administrators, directors, and other personnel within the Temple of Justice, as well as staff at the West Point Magisterial Court. Team B will also be assigned to the Painesville Magisterial Court and will cover judiciary personnel from Painesville, Omega, Carisburg, Bensonville, and 2D magisterial courts. Additionally, Team C is expected to operate from the Gardnersville Magisterial Court and will also conduct audits for staff from Gardnersville, Bushwell Island, Broadview, and Architon Magisterial Courts. According to a memorandum from the Office of Public Information and Strategic Planning at the judiciary, the exercise is mandatory, adding that all judiciary staff are required to present original copies of their academic credentials along with their national identification cards. Failure to comply to release ones will result in severe administrative consequences. Following major concern raised by residents of Margibi and other counties regarding lack of political appointments by the Boubacar Kono administration, Minister of Internal Affairs Francis Numalin says the government is aware that he has fallen short on the appointment of citizens of Margibi to key positions. Minister Numalin, who spoke during the induction ceremony of Margibi County newly appointed County Superintendent Ojet Morris in Kakata, openly acknowledged the imbalance. Numalin, a confidant and tribal cousin to President Joseph Boakat, noted, despite huge support received from Margibi in 2023, the county is yet to benefit from political appointments. The 2023 presidential runoff records have shown then Kennedy Bouakat secured 63,431 votes, 47.08% in Margibi, compared to 56,272 votes, 41.76% for the incumbent George Weah. That means Margibi stood third among counties with the highest votes for Bouakat in 2023. Political pundits believe the Internal Affairs Minister's statement highlight what many have considered a one-sided political appointment carried out by the government, as several persons have accused the president of giving top position to people who are basically from his county, Lofa. The Environmental Protection Agency has launched Jeff-funded Liberia-Guinea Forest Project. The initiative is also part of Guinea Forest Integrated Program, which includes Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Togo, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. It contributes directly to ECOWAS environmental policy framework. Speaking at the launching program Wednesday, EPA Acting Executive Director Anthony Colley emphasized that the conservation of both Liberia and Guinea forests is intended to promote sustainable development, improve the livelihood of citizens of both nations. Colley appreciated the Global Environmental Facility, Conservation International, and all international partners for their commitment to Liberian environmental sustainability. He, however, on behalf of EPA Executive Director Emmanuel Yakpablo, pledged the EPA unwavering support to working with the neighboring countries and international partners to foster environmental resilience and sustainability within the sub-region. The Press Union of Liberia has announced the official dedication of its new office scheduled for this Thursday, August 28th. PEL, in a press statement signed by its president, Julius Kanuba, said the event reflects a crucial step toward enhancing the union's institutional dignity, adding that it marks a major infrastructural upgrade from its current location on Clay Street, where it has operated for the past 23 years. Kanubat indicated that securing a new head office has been a long-standing objective among PUL's membership, yet previous leadership since the early 2000s had not initiated this vital process. According to the release, the current PUL leadership views the achievement as a crucial foundation for realizing its long-term vision to constructing a national headquarters, which is scheduled to commence in the first half of 2026. PEL new head office is situated on Warner Avenue, 9th Street Single, conveniently adjacent to the Moravia Christian Fellowship. Meanwhile, all Liberian journalists, media, and communication practitioners are encouraged to grace the occasion, which will be attended by a host of dignitaries from government and civil society. Concerned Liberia International Business Organization Incorporated will this Friday, August 29th, induct into office its newly elected officials. CONIBO is a professional network of Liberian entrepreneurs established in 2025 to strengthen strategic business initiatives and foster continual growth and development. A press release issued under the signatures of CONIBO Secretary General Kusi Armstrong and PRO John Sumot expressed the National Board of Directors and the general membership confident in the new leadership. The release added that since the establishment of CONIBO, it has served as a voice for Liberian-owned enterprises, working to empower local entrepreneurs through networking, mentorship, and strategic partnership and international collaborations. In furtherance, the release described as historic the induction, which marks a chapter in the leadership of the concerned Liberian International Business Organization in reaffirmation of its commitment to economic growth, empowerment of indigenous businesses, and international business collaborations. People to be inducted into office include Moses Shaid, President, founder, CEO of the People's Supreme Group of Companies, Michael Johnson, Vice President for Administration, Kusi Armstrong, Secretary General, among others. Members of the National Teachers Association in Margibi and Gwapodo counties have reported a step up their campaign aim at pressuring the association's president, Mary Newman, to submit to the directive of the Civil Law Code. On November 11, 2024, the Civil Law Code ordered NTAL President Mary Newman to submit herself to the demand of the majority bloc of the National Executive Committee regarding an audit. As part of this campaign, female members of the NTAL in Margibi County have appealed to the Ministry of Education to prevail on their president, Mary Newman, from respecting the decision of the Civil Law Code. Addressing a press conference in Herbert on Wednesday, spokesperson of the female teachers in Margibi County, Mema Kamara, said it is a very bad signal to see the head of the NTAL disrespecting the decision of the court. Madam Kamara also called on the court to freeze the account of the NTAL pending an audit and encourage all librarian leader to stop those in the executive branch of government to disobey the court. Also speaking, the spokesperson of the teachers in Gwapodo County, Edward Massaquet, called on President Joseph Walker to stop the Deputy Director General of the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, Matthew Cannon, from interfering in the affairs of the NTAL. Massaquet recommended the removal of Mary Newman from the Board of Directors of the Monrovia Consolidated School System as a representative of the NTAL because of a refusal to give account of the usage of the organization funds over the years. Murder suspect Bill Jala, aged 39, has pleaded guilty to the killing of his girlfriend Princess Zul at a local entertainment center in Painesville in 2024. The suspect guilty plea comes as a result of the indictment drawn against him for multiple offenses ranging from attempt to commit murder, aggravated assault, and murder. Suspect Bill Wednesday, according to our judicial correspondent, confessed judgment in open court while responding to his indictment to avoid wasting the court time. Jala was arrested in December 2024 after he stabbed his girlfriend Princess Doe Wissett 7 times with a silver knife at Fast Nickel Entertainment Center. Prior to the court proceedings, suspect Bill waived his right to the jury trial and requested for the bench of trial, meaning the judge will serve as both judge and jury. Meanwhile, the case is scheduled for this Thursday, August 28th, at Criminal Court B at the Temple of Justice. The Liberian government has begun the rehabilitation of over 150 at-risk youth at the transit center operated by the Liberian Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission in the township of Johnsonville in Montserrat County. Speaking in an interview with this station, LRRC Executive Director Jackson P. explained that the disadvantaged youths are currently being catered to by the Ministries of Health and Youth and Sports. According to P., the area is being used as a temporary holding center for victims of drug and substance abuse because the government is also building another center in Bentor, Montserrat County. The LRRC boss noted that the initiative is part of the government's plan and determination to rehabilitate at-risk youth across the country. The LRRC Executive Director added that the multi-sectorial team is working on modalities to ensure minor challenges, including proper fencing and others, are addressed. A civil society organization known as Start Easy to Understand News for Collaborative Transformation, with funding from the European Union, has discovered that Liberia is facing a full-blown drug crisis. The EAD project also established that there are possibilities of country experiencing drug usage precipitated gangsterism in Haiti. The senior researcher at the EAD project, Nabusi Anin, disclosed that the cost of people consuming large quantities of various dangerous drugs in Liberia are due to peer pressure, lack of job, and cheapness of Liberian markets. Authorities of Vamuma Market is urging individuals who are selling in the area to remain focused amid ongoing business challenges being experienced across the country. Speaking to Kings FM, the superintendent of the market, Mary Bokiba, acknowledged that over the past 2 years, local businesses have struggled to strive, while many unable to meet previous levels of success. According to her, the tough business climate being experienced reflects what she called broader challenges facing the Liberian business sector. What if you just joining us? A reminder you're listening to King's News, run the 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Stories we're following this morning: United States government suspends birth tourism, a primary purpose for pregnant women delivering their babies on the soil of the U.S. Liberian National Union 2023 Vice Presidential candidate Grace Pan describes CDC demolished national headquarters as one of the largest drug infested areas. Pan says CDC officials turned blind eyes to rampant drug abuse in the premises of the party headquarters. Presidential liaison to the national legislature, Sandra Johnson says United Party has gone astray from its original values and worsened Liberians' living conditions. Away from home, Nigeria has announced a 6-month ban on the export of raw shield nuts used to make many beauty creams. A court in Equatorial Guinea handed an 8-year jail term for embezzlement to a senior official who separately won notoriety for appearing in a series of sex tapes with other officials' wives. These are stories we follow here this morning on King's News. We'll take another short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the voices of the news makers. Welcome back. On this development now, Abomi County's former senator and presidential liaison to the national legislature, Sandra Johnson, has sharply criticized officials of the ruling Unity Party, describing them as ungrateful. Sandra claimed President Joseph Walker is the only leader who is in the current Unity Party alliance government who shows genuine concern for the people. The Bowman County former senator, in an interview on Wednesday, argued that the Unity Party has gone astray from its original values and it is no longer the political institution Liberians once knew.
The only good person in our whole United Party that President Buhari. The only person that appreciates good among all the United Party for that President Buhari. The rest are ungrateful. The right, they used you and dumb you. And I will come to that. But President Buhari, if all of them were thinking that President Buhari and behaving the President Buhari, United Party will have another chance in 2029. Do not regard people that help them. Appreciating when people do a favor for you. You must appreciate them. The United Party has never called any of these. They call it all now what? The happy friends. Okay, so you call me a happy friend. If you call any of us after the election, they ought to tell thank you. The only person that did that, the President Buhari. The party itself, no. He as an individual, yes. The party should have done that, recognize us. Even if you don't get a job to all your party. Our votes were very significant. But when they got that, those that they appointed will become the insignificant person of people to all a job for one. President Buhari called us to his house and told all of us. The United Party is there for the rescue mission. Understand that? The head of the rescue mission is President Buhari. He called us to his house, member of the rescue team, and told us, thank you, we were very happy. The United Party didn't care anymore. They have. The Bible said, this too shall pass. No, to make President Buhari, to me personally, I have no regret. If I just told you, if you were running 2029, I will go to all the political.
He is Bombay County former senator and presidential liaison to the national legislature, Sando Johnson, there speaking. Former Montserrat County Superintendent and Vice Presidential candidate of the opposition Liberia National Union, Grace Kwan, had described the former headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change as a ghetto center. Speaking in an interview with Fortune TV Wednesday, Grace Kwan said the former ruling party headquarters was one of the largest drug-infected areas in the country. She accused party officials of turning blind eyes to worsening poverty and rampant drug abuse in the surrounding neighborhoods around the party headquarters while continuing to refer to them as the masses and ordinary citizens.
So we pray and hope to see it come to pass. Don't hold your breath. You might just leave there. That's it. 6 years, it was raining from the heavens. And you say you didn't have water in your house. The rain stopped in the night, the dew falling, you go catch water. Where you catch it from? How many of them want to take any amount from them? They didn't pay rent in 6 months or 6 years, whatever time they spend there. Afterwards, they were constrained to pay the rent. You think someone want to keep you on his property like that? And at the end of the day, they say, move, just move. It's not yours. If people understand, but you see people on Facebook, oh, they break it out. Was the agreement for you to build structures there and you own it? These are things we should look at what the agreement looks like. I know under the law, if somebody owns a piece of property and he asks you to move, you don't want to move, he cannot come and fight you. He takes you to the court. The court grants you that order to remove him. If you remove him, there's a structure there that is owned by Martha Bernard, the late Martha Bernard, and that structure also came down. So maybe the people decide to break that building. It's left for them. Don't cry and make fuss about it. It's not for you. Take what is down and go that way. Were you surprised? But the first ghetto during the era, that was the first ghetto. The one that behind it, wherever it was, that was a ghetto. That was the first place. That was a springboard where many other ghettos came out of. The CDC party. But you didn't go there to that place before you see the place. Everybody was smoking like a mountain on fire. Let's be real about it. I mean, I got no personal issues with them, but let's put wrong where it is. You can't be fighting for somebody memorial, somebody property as if it's theirs. They can take me to where it hurts. I don't care. I really don't. All those shacks behind there were ghettos. We've gone there, we've seen it. All those shacks behind there were ghetto. If the buildings were not ghetto, the shacks behind there were ghetto, and they know they were ghetto. They didn't care to stop them because as far as they were concerned, those are the masses. Yeah, that's what the masses eat. They take the aim almost time and leave the rest with them. This is sad. This is our country. We see our children are being hurt from those places. We see people die from those places because of the habit that they have gotten into. And people want to cry now and say, headquarters, that's not your property. You didn't buy it. You refuse to pay rent. Pack your things and go.
Meanwhile, the former Montserrat County Superintendent also described Montserrat County Senator Sir Joseph as political irrelevant. According to Mata Kman, the Montserrat County Senator got elected because of former President George Weah, adding that the breakaway from the CDC and forming a new political party is insignificant.
I got a photo for her. I waiting for him to come. I'll open a photo. I still got a photo. Yeah, I still got a photo. I got it in several countries around the world. So I still got it. Waiting for no, let me tell you, someone that are insignificant. With all president we have, most of them will not have one election. Most of them will not have one election in this country. They're not breaking it. He knows. We're all true evidence. We're all the radio station in the town. He knows. I just knows. I just got a paper. Yeah, waiting for you. Yeah, it's like the whole Montserrat County group at that time. They cannot pay the place you're living. This factory, the toilet money that he used to collect. We got a document, we got it here. We're waiting for him. I agree, this man had a church in America sending support for Liberians, and he used it for his personal stuff. Those buses were not coming for his personal use. It was all the people in Liberia suffering in transportation, but then gave it to them. At the end, what happened? The very CDC government gave him fuel. All the poor people who had the buses running to the University of Liberia, they cut off the contract and gave all the contract to him. And then him now bring your buses and go around and see who will buy fuel for you and give you contract. This wickedness in this country has to see. We need to get strong in the process. I don't need one political anything to speak the way I speak. You don't need to give me any political job. Always worked very hard. I'm a hard-working person. I have worked and I will continue to work. And since I left government, I'm still working and even doing better. I don't need anybody political vote. So don't even fight on that level. So I just said, waiting for your election day. I'll defy you. Come on, I'm ready for you. I got here so far. I got a copy of the check. He was not a good Samaritan. What was given to him for the people he took for himself. He abused it. He misused it, and he gave himself a name. You will not see ambulance, you won't see free buses until 2028 or maybe in 2027. Then they come with that show. That's a normal thing. The Liberian people need to learn and develop their minds to the extent that when they see this kind of thing, they should know that at the end of the day, these people are coming to fool them again. How many times will you be burned by these people? They come, 2028. You see everybody, also what are you doing right now? For me, I don't have to announce anything I'm doing. People have benefited from what I did before I became superintendent. people have benefited from what I'm doing even now. I was president of the Dark Workers Union in this country on 2 terms. I won by 85% vote. The 4 seaports of Monrovia. You know my salary we're making? The least salary we're making $250.
She's former Montserrat County Superintendent and Vice Presidential candidate of the opposition Liberian National Union Grace Band speaking. What folks, if you just joining us, with the time 1:30, a reminder you're listening to King's Newsroom, a 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Stories we're following this morning: United States government suspend birth tourism, a primary purpose for pregnant women delivering their babies on the soil of the U.S. Liberian National Union 2023 Vice Presidential candidate Grace Pan described CDC demolished national headquarters as one of the largest drug-affected areas. Pan says CDC officials turn blind eyes to rampant drug abuse in the premises of the party headquarters. Presidential liaison to the national legislature, Sandra Johnson says the party has gone astray from its original values and worsened Liberians' living conditions. And away from home, Nigeria has announced a 6-month ban on the export of raw shea nuts used to make many beauty creams. A court in Equatorial Guinea Wednesday handed an 8-year jail term for embezzlement to a senior official who separately won notoriety for appearing in series of sex tapes with other officials' wives. These are stories we're following here this morning. We take another break. When we come back, we continue with more forces on the program. On this one, I'm following major concern raised by residents of Margibi and other counties regarding lack of political appointments by the Bouaka County government. The Minister of Internal Affairs, Francis Numalin, says the government is aware that it has fallen short on the appointment of citizens of Margibi County to key positions. Minister Numalin, who spoke during the induction ceremony of Margibi newly appointed county superintendent O.J. Morris in Kakata, openly acknowledged the imbalance. Numalin, a confidant of and cousin of the president, Joseph Wakat, noted that despite huge support received from Margibi in 2023, the county is yet to benefit from political appointments.
We are aware that Margibi County took the 3rd place in terms of voting President Joseph Wakat, especially the second round. We are also aware that politically, Margibi has not gotten the full share of the cake in terms of appointment in government. We are aware. I'm also aware that when the government is elected, while it is true that people must benefit from appointments in government, but the key reason for electing a government is to make sure that that government caters to its people. Margibi, the government led by President Joseph Parker has started to work for its people in Margibi County. We just let you know that the race car is now on the racetrack. And that racetrack, I see it passing through Margibi. So you may not get cabinet ministers as you expected, but President Bouaka is in the know. You can remember what Margibi did. That Margibi deserves whatever other countries deserve. And you will remember, Margibi shall be developed.
He's the Minister of Internal Affairs, Francis Numalin, speaking. The Environmental Protection Agency has launched the Jeff-funded Liberia Guinea Forest Project. The initiative is also part of Guinea Forest Integrated Program, which includes Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Togo, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. It contributes directly to ECOWAS environmental policy framework. Speaking at the launching program Wednesday, EPA Acting Executive Director Antonin Colley emphasized that the conservation of both Liberia and Guinea forests is intended to promote sustainable development, improve the livelihood of citizens of both nations. Colley emphasized that global environmental facility the Conservation International and other international partners for their commitment to Liberia's environmental sustainability.
Today marks a significant milestone not just for Liberia, but for the entire Guinean forest environment. As many of you are aware, the Guinean forests of West Africa are one of the world biodiversity hotspots, providing critical ecosystem services that sustain millions of people. Unfortunately, the success of this initiative depends on all of us that are in this place, and even our communities. The government of Liberia, civil society, developing partners, private sector, and the very communities that owns the forest. Together, we must ensure that conservation does not come at the expense of people, but rather uplift their livelihoods and build resilience. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this project is not operating in isolation. It is part of the broader Guinean Forest Integrated Program, which covers the Republic of Guinea, the Guinea-Bissau, Republic of Sierra Leone, the Togo, and Liberia. It also contributes directly to the Government's Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework and the ECOWAS Environmental Policy Action Plan. This is evidence that Liberia is fully aligned with both regional and international commitment to safeguard biodiversity while advancing sustainable development. Can you allow me, therefore, to express our sincere appreciation to the Global Environmental Facility, the Conservation International, NCNL, and all implementing partners for their commitment to Liberia's environmental sustainability.
He's the acting executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Anthony Colley. They are speaking. Members of the National Teachers Association in Margibi and Gbapolu counties have reported a step up their campaign aim at pressuring the association's president, Mary Newman, to submit to the directive of the Civil Law Code. On November 11, 2024, the Civil Law Code ordered NTAL President Mary Newman to submit herself to the demand of the majority bloc of the National Executive Committee regarding an audit. As part of their campaign, female members of the NTAL in Margibi County have appealed to the Ministry of Education to prevail on their president, Mary Newman, from disrespecting the decision of the Civil Law Code. Addressing a press conference in Habed on Wednesday, the spokesperson of the female teachers in Margibi County, Mama Kamara, said it is very bad singular to see the head of the NTAL disrespecting the decision of the court. Madam Kamara also called on the court to freeze the account of the NTAL pending an audit and encouraged the Liberian leader to stop those in the executive branch of government disobeying the court.
We have come to appeal to the Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Jaso M. Jala, to personally prevail on Mrs. Mary W. Moluba Newman to discontinue her disrespectful act toward constituted authorities, especially the court. As a mother and classroom teacher, it is quite embarrassing to continue to hear news about a colleague of ours in a teaching profession disrespecting a court. If we as mothers can openly disrespect authorities such as the Court of Records, What will we teach our children as well as our students? What is the crime in allowing the 2018 to 2022 NEC members to cause the accounts of the NTAL to be audited after one of our kinds in person of her honor Judge Hoda A. Elliott, the then assigned judge at the Civil Law Court A, ruled on November 11, 2022, declaring the rights. As a woman myself, I feel very ashamed of another woman who would allow men to manipulate her in disrespecting an established legal institution like the court. Councillor Murphy Cannon and those in this JNB JKK government are supporting Mrs. Newman to disrespect the court. They are not helping her at all. Councillor Murphy Cannon, the Deputy Director General at NOSCOP and a member of the ruling Unity Party legal team, should be the last person to be standing in the way of an audit at the NTAL. While His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai is doing everything possible to fight corruption in Liberia, Councillor Murphy Cannon is busy encouraging his client to defy a court of competence jurisdiction.
Also speaking, the spokesperson of the teachers in Bapolu County, Edward Masakwet, called on President Joseph Boakai to stop the Deputy Director General of the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, Matthew Cannon, from interfering in the affairs of the NTAL. Masakwet recommended the removal of Mary Newman from the Board of Directors of the Monrovia Consolidated School System as a representative of the NTAL because of a refusal to give account of the usage of the organization's funds over the years.
On behalf of the public school teachers of Apple County, we have come to inquire whether there is a calculated conspiracy to devalue our important contributions to society, or there is a cartel in the government cycle that has resolved to support, encourage, protect, and defend Mrs. Mary W. Mama Yuma in her determination to not submit to an audit at the NTAL. As teachers and educational workers in Bapolu County, we are beginning to realize the intransigence of Mrs. Yuma not to obey the court and judges appointed by the President of Liberia is a well calculated and fully supported by the government of Liberia. Presidential appointee, like the member of the MCSSO, Mrs. Mary W. Mama Yuma, the national president of the NTAL, be heavily aided and supported by officials of the same government of Liberia, led by Councillor Murphy Cannon, the Deputy Director General at NASCRO. It appears the public school teachers and educational workers are the least regarded civil servant in our country now. This is highly frustrating. This is not what we voted for. While His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai is doing everything possible to fight corruption in Liberia, Councillor Murphy Cannon is busy encouraging his client to defy a court of competent jurisdiction, all because he does not want her leadership to be audited. With the full support and backing of Councillor Murphy Cannon and a few other key hands in government, this female teacher is ignoring, disobeying, and grossly brushing aside the November 11, 2024 ruling by Judge Hoda A. Elliott, the then assigned judge at the Civil Law Court A.
He's Edward Masakwet, the spokesperson of the teachers in Bapolu County. Earlier, you heard the voice of Mema Kamara, who read the press statement on behalf of the teachers of Margibi County. And away from home, Nigeria has announced a 6-month ban on the export of raw shield nuts used to make many beauty creams. The move is aimed at making the trade more lucrative, as Nigeria is losing out by not producing much shield butter locally. The country produces nearly 40% of the world's annual crop, but it only accounts for 1% of the 6.5 billion global market. The situation Vice President Kashin Shitiman described as unacceptable. Harvested fruit from shield nuts trees have to be crushed, roasted, and boiled to extract their oil to produce the shea butter used in cosmetics. A court in Equatorial Guinea Wednesday handed an 8-year jail term for embezzlement to a senior official who separately won notoriety for appearing in a series of sex tapes with other official wives. The Bar Code Provision Tribunal convicted Batasa Iban Ngonga of diverting money claimed as professional travel expenses for personal use. Igonga, a married former head of the National Financial Investigation Agency, and 5 other senior officials were accused of embezzling expenses worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in the outreach Central African state. On that note, this I would like to go home on this edition of King's Newsman, a 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. But just before we go home this morning, let's remind you of stories we've been following. The United States government suspends birth tourism, a primary purpose for pregnant women delivering their babies on the soil of the U.S. Liberia National Union 2023 vice presidential candidate Greenspan describes the CDC demolished national headquarters as one of the largest drug-affected areas. Man says CDC officials turned blind eyes onto rampant drug abuse in the premises of the party headquarters. Presidential liaison to the national legislature, Sandra Johnson, says United Party has gone astray from its original values and worsened Liberians' living conditions. And away from home, Nigeria has announced 6-month ban on the export of raw shield nuts used to make many beauty creams. A court in Equatorial Guinea Wednesday handed an 8-year jail term for embezzlement to a senior official who separately won notoriety for appearing in a series of sex tapes with other officials' wives. These are stories we've been following here on King's News Run. I would like to say many thanks to all of our reporters, correspondents, news editors who helped in making this package. Our sources better still join us this afternoon at 1 o'clock, at which time we'll be here with another edition of the program King's News Run. My name is Newton Tokwa. I presented this edition of the program. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye-bye.